some people, still believe, as we watch so much horror unfolding, that it will never happen to them. Someone will come along and stop it and help them. But we have to help ourselves as best we can. We will be weeping inside, but we need to stand together and unite as humanity against the evil that is rising, for it is evil indeed, and it seems that we have come full circle. It has been in the air for a very long time, and many of us have felt it. But some have not experienced it, and thankfully so. But today we are on a precipice, and we must stand together. I have mentioned before about having a friend who was a child in Auschwitz concentration camp, who was experimented on and left severely disabled. She lost all generations of her family, and luckily was liberated and brought to England, where I came to know her and to love her as a friend, and we would talk for hours and hours. She was an inspiration. She had seen such horror, much of which she could not express, and yet she remained her and retained her humanity and kindness, and also a sense of humour. She was just one of millions, but she was a gem, and she will never be forgotten. I'm saying these things because of the horror, the anger, and the desperation that we feel in Europe, in Commonwealth countries everywhere, all over, of what is rising, and brings back memories of our fathers, our uncles, our grandfathers talking to us and telling us what they fought for in the 1939 against Hitler. I don't often, as I've said before, I may have said before, talk about these things on here. Today, a story filled me full of horror. It's one story out of thousands, but sometimes that one story stays with you forever, just as my friend's story has stayed with me forever. Concentration camps occurred all over the world, not just for the Nazis in Germany, etc., but also Russia and everywhere else. And they are continuing today, as we see. Here are some quotes from survivors and liberators during the Holocaust. Elie Wiesel: "Never shall I forget that night, the first night in camp, which has turned my life into one long night. 7 times cursed and 7 times sealed. Never shall I forget the smoke. Never shall I forget the little faces of the children whose bodies I saw turned into wreaths of smoke beneath a silent blue sky. I swore never to be silent wherever and whenever human beings endure suffering and humiliation. We must always take sides." Zalman Grodowski, Auschwitz: "Who was prepared to believe that millions of people were being seized for no reason whatever and led to slaughter by multiple means? Who was prepared to believe that a whole people was being led to destruction at the diabolical will of a gang of contemptible criminals?" Leslie Egner, Auschwitz survivor, At age 15, I was deported from Hungary to Auschwitz. Most of my family didn't survive the Holocaust. I focused on surviving one day at a time. Martin Niemöller. First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out, because I was a Protestant. Then they came for the trade unions, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Thomas Bergenthal discussing the quote from Abel Herzberg. One of the problems with the 6 million number is that nobody can imagine that. You cannot personalize 6 million. You can personalize one person. I think it expresses a reality. It is true, because each one of those souls was killed, and each one had an individuality of their own, a history, a memory, a life, and is lost in this whole discussion when we sort of cavalierly go over and speak about 6 million. It is vital to keep that in mind. Power is when you have every justification to kill someone, and then you don't. Oskar Schindler. Oskar Schindler, known for saving Jewish lives during the Holocaust, is remembered for his courage and compassion. Here are some of his famous quotes. I would do it again, over and over, for I hate cruelty and intolerance. And there was no choice. If you saw a dog going to be crushed under a car, wouldn't you help him? Beyond this day, no thinking person could fail to see what would happen. I was now resolved to do everything in my power to defeat the system. In every business I tried, I can see now, it wasn't me that failed. Something was missing. Even if I'd known what it was, there's nothing I could have done about it, because you can't create this thing, and it makes all the difference in the world between success and failure.